𝗘𝗫-𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗩𝗜𝗖𝗧, what crimes are respected in prison and which are hated? Story 1. My aunt killed a burglar who broke into her home, but her husband took the blame since they had 2 kids, so he went to prison. He was respected for being a man and protecting his wife. Even the guards liked him, letting him leave for work in the morning and return in the afternoon until he served his sentence. Story 2. I've heard bank robbers are highly respected. It's a victimless crime, especially back when they burned mortgage documents, freeing people from debt. Story 3. A close relative tried to escape, got close but failed. He got extra time and 6 months in solitary, but when he returned to general population he was treated like a hero. Story 4. A friend got 5 years for forgery and was treated like a rocket scientist in prison. Forgers are rare enough to earn semi-respect. Story 5. I'm a lawyer with prison guard friends in the U.S. Northeast. Substantially violent crimes earn respect. People leave you alone. Smart guy crimes like pulling off a good scam or being a savvy drug dealer are also respected. People want to be your friend. Minor drug trafficking, petty theft, or simple assault, you're nobody. Story 6. I got out of prison 3 weeks ago. No single crime automatically earns respect. Most people respect you until you give them a reason not to. It depends on gang affiliations, but usually it's about being respectful, and that comes back to you. Prison experiences vary widely though. Story 7. Murder, especially the more violent, gets more respect. I was in for armed robbery and wasn't bothered. People tested me to see if I was a coward, but no one concluded I was. People don't realize inmates are the same folks you meet in your neighborhood. Average, flawed. Last week in court, I saw a guy from my street. If you're from a cushy, sheltered neighborhood, prison's tough. If you're from a rough one, you've already learned survival skills growing up. Story 8. My mom, a lawyer, told me about a case where she helped a man get out of prison. His 12-year-old daughter was attacked while at a store. When he found out, he killed the guy with a machete. He got 30 years. He told my mom other inmates didn't treat him badly. Some even shook his hand. She didn't stay on the case but referred him to another lawyer who got him out after 2 years. Story 9. No crime inherently earns respect in prison. Generally, people don't discuss their crimes. Reasons? Many are at different appeal stages and bragging can mess that up. You never know who knew your victims, so boasting is risky. Plus, most guys aren't proud of being caught and jailed, so there's little to brag about. Story 10. My uncle was in prison and said a guy who assaulted a 15-year-old girl got a toilet wrench shoved up him, tearing him apart. My uncle said he just watched, but in prison there's no mercy for those guys. Many inmates have wives and daughters. Guards turn a blind eye. Story 11. In Colombia, if you go to prison for killing a criminal, thief, or similar, you're respected like a hero by civilians and inmates alike. My mom, a lawyer, handled a case where a wife shot her husband, facing 25 years for murder. It seemed like a crime of passion, but it was severe domestic abuse. He abused her and her daughters in every way, and despite her calling the police repeatedly, His wealth and connections as a businessman protected him. One day she sent her daughters to her mom's, waited for him to come home, and shot him at the door. She got 7 years of house arrest after proving self-defense. Story 12. In high school, my teacher worked as a prison psychologist and motivational speaker. She shared a story about group therapy with inmates. A new guy was there for abusing minors. They weren't in protective custody, everyone was together. After the session, she asked why he was there, and they said, "Child abuser, and he doesn't know what's coming." She said he was a punching bag. Inmates attacked him with broom handles or anything they could use. Guards knew but did nothing. Crimes against kids or women are despised by all inmates. A relative in prison mentioned another hated crime: acts against mothers or by mothers against their kids. Mothers are sacred, and in women's prisons, crimes against kids are even more reviled. In my city, a young guy who assaulted his 2-year-old niece, just 18 but street smart, was held pre-trial with other convicts. Everyone knew what he did and hated him, openly threatening him with what would happen without guards. He took his life that night with his shoelaces. My uncles, lawyers, said in some prisons, inmates throw acid in the faces of those who beat their kids, wives, or close family, sometimes requiring isolation to prevent mass attacks. When I was in for growing weed, everyone wanted my knowledge. As an ex-prison officer, I saw an old gang leader with insane respect. He was courteous to those who deserved it and could stop trouble with a word. I talked to him a lot since he needed daily bandage changes for a diabetic leg wound, and as a rookie I was often assigned to escort him. His gang members couldn't say how long he'd been a high-ranking member. Most weren't born when he joined. I looked him up, not there for gang activity despite prior short stints. He was in for running over a guy who assaulted his niece, a cop, with a truck multiple times. He earned double respect for avenging his niece and killing a cop. My stepdad said everyone in his prison, mostly thieves, was decent. He was treated normally since he was also in for theft. But 2 days before his release, a guy came in for assaulting his 6-year-old cousin. My stepdad saw him treated like a maid and assaulted with objects.